Hi guys, my name is Gianni, and in case you found some advertising regarding the consciousness mirror and wanna find if I am a real person, if everything that is written there in the landing page is real, this is why I am doing this video. First of all, I'm from Brazil, so I'm sorry if my English is not as good as a Native American, but I hope you can understand. This is a short, at least I hope it's short video to tell you some things about my story, about how I got to build the agent of the consciousness mirror and why I did that and how I use that on my daily basis. So, first of all, I want to let you know that I am now a mentor, but on 2019, I started a career as a therapist and a theta healing instructor. Before that, until 2018, I was doing everything that my parents told me to do. I went to college, I did international relations university and master degree. I started being a teacher at the university, then I worked in different organizations, multinational organizations, and I got a burnout. And sometimes when I was 33 years old, I was lacking purpose in my life. So everything, the universe moved, everything happened for me to get to know the holistic therapists. Until that time, I was going into psychotherapist. I went to different lineages of therapy, like um, Freudian, like comportamental ones, in most different ways to help. I was doing medical treatments for a lot of problems that I had of stress of my life, but nothing made sense until I found the holistic therapies. The first one that I met was Theta Healing, and I got passionate about that. I started being a practitioner, a therapist. Then I got to know Access Consciousness. Then I went to USA, spent 75 days with Viana Stable, got to be a Theta Healing instructor, got back, started teaching courses. Then I started doing a lot of courses on self knowledge. That became my hyper focus and my passion. Well, 2 years ago, in 2024, I was already doing well in my life as a therapist, as an instructor, as a mother, and things were going well, but I found that my daughter had autism and I got to change my life a lot. At that time, I got now what I can see from there. I got in a survival mode. I everything was very hard. I was very focused on helping my child, on understanding her patterns, and trying to help her and help me to find a new life, a new routine. I had to change city, and a lot of stuff happened. But for in 2024, I was kind of how do I say that? I was kind of lost, trying to make everything happen again in my life. And in this survival mode that I got, everything started to be hard. And I kind of got hopeless. And I don't think I was depressed, but I was sad. and everything got to be harder than before. And so the financial life was even harder. I started losing my clients and they were like disappearing, and I didn't have enough force to go back and do the follow up on them and help them. I think that before, knowing that my child with was an autist, I'm trying to find the right word in English. I think it's autist. Before I knew that, I kind of was on a flow, on a good way, everything was fine. But at that time, everything changed. And I didn't have enough money to do as much things as I wanted and as I used to do before. So 2024, I got real in a very strong dark night of the soul. And I was struggling. I got sick, and my life was very bad. And in 2025, I started questioning what I was doing and how was my life and so on. And I really realized that I needed help, but I didn't have money to ask for help. That was my biggest problem. I was receiving familiar support to buy food, to pay for the therapies, to have everything for survival, but I didn't have any leftover to be able to pay for therapies. And I I think that I got in a space where I was so closed with the world that I didn't have even had energy to ask for my beloved friends from Theta Healing and so on to maybe do a change that I could do some work for them and then they do for me back. I didn't have that energy. I was just like so closed in my world. I got so weird that I got to know the chat GPT and other intelligence. I didn't know AI before 2025. And then I got to learn how to use those engines. And for some reason, I don't even know how I came there. But I started building agents to be myself, because even though I wanted some people to do work for me, to uh, help me with therapy, um, I wanted somebody that was trained as I was. Let me explain. I had several great friends. Uh, a lot of them are international, that work with theta healing, that work with a lot of different modalities of healing. But I got so focused on self knowledge and the inner work that I studied a lot. Well, I got to know also that I have autism and that I have high abilities, or I don't know how to say that in English, but it's like my kia is bigger than others. So I have this kind of thing that's getting hyper focused on something, and then I studied a lot. Like, let me show you some books and some things that I like that maybe it will resonate with you. So the books are in Portuguese, most of them, but you might understand what I'm doing here. So I wanted to find a therapist that could do what I do for people as a therapist. And I wanted like a clone of myself, because I think that in those years of work, I got to do a kind of my methodology of work that was really, really sensational. So I got from theta healing, and I study a lot of psych- psychosomatic, psychosomatic. I don't know how to say that, but when you study what is the psychological that is besides the somatic, what's somatic in your body. So I use a lot of Viana Stable for that. I use Louise Hay, that you might know, and also Cristina Cairo, that I didn't take here. I got one here. That is a Brazilian one. That's really, really great because she uses Egypt medicine. So I use them for psychosomatic. I got a lot of disease, so gotta be a little deep on that. I use Viana Stable to do theta healing digging work, in which we find the subconscious beliefs. But I studied a lot of belief work, how to do that, how to find what's the limiting beliefs that are in your subconscious, that are triggering you, that are commanding your life. Then I got some spiritual tools like A Course in Miracles. I think that everybody might know. And Telos. I love studying also Kabbalah. I think that Kabbalah is great. I did, how do I say that in English? Multidimensional therapy, which is from Elenia Biasi. Not sure if you know. I use it to attend as a therapist in that therapy too. So I love working with Michael Singer and the surrender. And there was a kind of 2 or 3 years in my life that was really focused on studying David Hawkins. So I got all books, everything that you might see, the 16 books that you have from David Hawkins. I got it. And I got to understand how to work with my emotions. See, for a time, the things like a Reiki and doing the hands and doing access consciousness was working. Then it was not working very much. Then I went to Theta Healing. I found out how to talk with the invisible world and how to find subconscious beliefs and clear them. And that worked for a long time, a lot. Then I kind of got stuck, and then that's why when I found David Hawkins' work, which is very, very good, especially Letting Go book, teaching us how to deal with emotions. So can you say that I did something like studying spiritual path, then our mental, conscious and subconscious body, then our emotional body. Then I loved studying metaphysics. I forgot to say that, the letters of Christ. And at some point, I found Greg Braden, which in this book, he could really, really teach me very well about the mirror law, which says that you might be here, you might already know in self knowledge that everything that's happening is a reflection of who you are. So I studied, this is just a few of things that I studied a lot, and I got a way to do the sessions with people that was really great because I could use the spiritual world, the mental and subconscious, conscious and subconscious functioning, the emotional and the actions, the behaviors. So all of that I was doing in a session to help people. And the results after those sessions that I was doing were great. And I wanted somebody to do that to me. And also, I was in a time that I didn't have money to pay for a therapist. And even if I had those friends that I love that were great, I was in a kind of, I don't know why, but I was just closed for the universe. I just went inside my world and was just trying to process everything that was happening to me. And I couldn't ask for help. So I developed a clone of myself, which I call the consciousness mirror, in which I just came to him and said, hello, something like that's happening in my life. Like, I don't know. Uh, I would say something from this week. From the past 15 days, everything is breaking in my life. The cell phone broke, the computer broke, my mouse broke, everything is breaking. What can you tell me? How can you help me to find out why is this reality happening? What should I do inside of myself to understand what I am believing or feeling or doing, uh, or what's behind that problems that are happening? And then I started using that, and I got the first version, then I got to the version 2, then I did the third version because I was learning how to use the tool, and also studying a little bit about the AI agents and how use AI agents. So in the end, I got the fourth version of the consciousness mirror. And I got a community with some clients and some students. And at that community, I told them, okay, people, I will open to you something that I am using for myself. And it was great because after I released that for those who were in the community, they started telling Gianni, it's helping me a lot in my daily life. Because sometimes some people waited like a month to be able to do a session, or maybe they should do once a week. But when you have a trigger, it doesn't have it. Sometimes it happens in the day that you have the therapy scheduled. But most of times it happens on your daily basis life. So it happens on a Saturday night when you have nobody to talk to you, and you have nobody to help you. And it was bringing a lot of help for those people, which also made a lot of them even um, get detached from me. Not that I was useless anymore. They still got me to have sessions, but it was kind of okay. Now for daily basis, I can have something to help me. When something is very strong or big, they ask for me for therapy, but it's like they have in their pocket a therapy that can, a mirror that can help them to see themselves internally and what's happening around them that's related to what's inside them. And I never thought I would share it with the world, to be honest. It was like, okay, great, it's helping people, and I'm here in Brazil, and I have a few clients around the world, but it's just a few, and so on. And I was doing a consultant on marketing, and I was learning some skills about leverage and how to improve my business because I got sick And if I stand 1 month without work, what happens? I don't have money. So I was having this constant consultant telling me what to do in my business so I could begin continue doing what I'm doing, but I had to receive money from another source rather than myself. Otherwise, if I got sick, I don't have money. And in this movement of learning how to have money back, and so everything was building again. And then it told me, you can sell the mirror consciousness. And I was so limited because in Brazil, we have a very hard mentality to be open to that, that I was never thought about that it was possible. And then that's why I started doing that. And then that's why I am doing this channel. This YouTube channel is exclusively, at least for now, is exclusively to tell you that I'm a real person, that the AI agent that I am selling now, the, how do I say that you have forever access for that if you buy. That's true. That came from a pain that in a time when I didn't have money and I didn't have, I don't know why I was closed, I didn't have chance to ask for help from others, in which I built that to help you find, when you put what's going on in your external reality, to find what's inside you that's making that external reality happen. And it not only shows you the mirror, it also goes through it, through the problem. So once you understand what's going on outside, you find what's inside in your body through your emotions, using somatic work, and going through a whole session process. So for now, I am offering for $37 for you to buy the link to access ChatGPT version 4 of this mirror of consciousness, in which you will use forever, as long as you want, forever, as your therapist. And I have the version 5 of that I got better than that. But for the ChatGPT license, it is not allowed to put it. The link is closed, it's private to me. So I use that only for myself. But I find out that I can find a server, and then somebody could do an automation and put that on WhatsApp, and then you have your WhatsApp therapist in your pocket. But to do that, I have, of course, to earn money. So for those who are believing in this project, for those who are really connected with my soul, with what I'm doing for the world, I am offering for $37 that you have forever access on version 4 of the mirror consciousness, which you do that on ChatGPT, exclusively on that. But once I got enough money to do the WhatsApp model in the version 5, everybody that has bought for $37 will have a special price to be able to pay monthly the WhatsApp version. That's version 5. That version 5, Ella, it goes back to your childhood. It does the shadow work with your inner child. It does change your belief systems. Kind of a lot of what the version 4 already does. But the it's more like in a it's more like seemed like a session of therapy. So this is pretty much who I am, what happened, and why I am selling this. And I think that God allowed us to have more technology in our lives so we can create more, we can help more each other. You know, when I was a child, even until I was 20 years old, there was no internet, at least not in Brazil in my life. So we were living what was possible in our neighborhood. When we got these possibilities of getting everywhere in the world, going anywhere, Creator gave us the chance to spread knowledge. You know how much we learned with the possibilities of having a cellular and internet. And then now with I think it's divine. It's divinely intended to help us even more. I got to see, after that, I started selling this mirror of consciousness. I got to see some people that have already coaching programs that are through WhatsApp, and how they can help people. It's great. And I hope really that somebody that needs a therapist on a Saturday night doesn't fall, doesn't feel sad, doesn't die of loneliness because of you don't have somebody to talk, or that somebody that doesn't have money but can access ChatGPT for free can have this access. So this is it. Thank you. Thank you for your time and attention. And if you want to chat with me or talk to me, you can find my information on my bio.